quite exciting. So other functions of the president, sir, the president is going to lead
for the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, will be co-hosting the event for today.
Thank you. So I will just ask us to kindly stand so that we can officially start this with the national anthem. Yes, good morning once again in Akwana, because you are in the north, so I believe that it's okay for us to greet you in Hausa. Good morning once again in Akwana. Thanks for coming. We will appreciate each and everyone amongst us this morning. So we will just get started with the GM proper, and I believe that we've been able to network for a few minutes earlier. We've been able to exchange pleasantries. So my name is Temitope Kayode. I'm the ACEN Zone 3 and also Abuja Liaison Officer. Thank you once again for coming.
My name is Joan Imwagene. I am the Membership Services Manager for the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. We'll be co-hosting the event for today.
Thank you. So I will just ask us to kindly stand so that we can officially start this with the national anthem. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I have our seat? All right, thank you. So before we get into the activities of today, I would like to make some few announcements, which is to let us know that we have the convenience. There's a convenience here, just on my right, on my
Engineer by Magic, the zonal coordinator for Zone 2 in person of Engineer Dr. Lawal Salisu.
All right, thank you. So we'll just move on the recognitions for now. Which is the Zone 3 coordinator. We're glad to have you, sir. You're welcome, sir. Please come to the front, sir.
Okay, we will be recognizing the guest, our distinguished guest for today, His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, the Executive Governor of Kano State. He is a special guest of honor for today. Also, the President of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Kamsalem A. Maka, FNSE. Please, can we put our hands together? A round of applause, please. The Vice President, Engineer Kunle Adebajo, F920. You're welcome, sir. The Honorable Treasurer of the Association, Engineer Bola Olowe, FNSE. I don't know if he has joined online, because he'll be joining online today. Okay. the immediate past president, Engineer F. Ajibade Oke, FNSE. Please a round of applause for him. Also, the managing director of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Mrs. Olufumelayo Kadri, FNSE. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you. Our keynote speaker has been earlier mentioned, but yes, I think it is a place for us to also recognize especially. We have in person Engineer Nuruddeen Rafindadi, FNSE, FNSE, FNICE, OFR, and also a past president of ACEN, co-founder, African Project Consortium, and also the immediate past MP of FEMA. We are so glad to have you this morning, sir. You're welcome, sir. Our guest speaker for today, the first one is Engineer Felix, Nwankwo, MNSE. I think I saw him earlier. That's the infrastructure design engineer with ACEN Consults Limited. You're welcome, sir. Good to have you. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you. Our second guest speaker is Engineer Ibrahim Buga, MNSE, partner and director with Kabir and Associates. We're glad to have you, sir. Representing the chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, Kobon, that's builder, and also Engineer Samson A. Opaloa is builder, and Hassan Ibrahim Mark, I understand is here. Okay, thank you, sir. Round of applause for you, sir. Thanks for coming, sir. And also we have the former president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, that's the president of Engineer Babagana Mohammed, FNSE. We're glad to have you, sir. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate some of our members joining online at this moment. Some of them are already online, so we thank you. Thanks for joining. We appreciate the entire ACEN Council members joining and also other past presidents joining us. I think shortly we'll be having the opening remarks coming from the chairman of the AGM Planning Committee. The chairman, sir, will be having your opening remarks just in a bit. So I don't know if you're ready for that, sir. All right, sir. Okay, I would like to please ask the former president who've been asked to kindly bring you up, sir. Okay, so I think he's comfortable when he's sitting. Thank you so much, sir. You're all welcome. And I believe this is going to be an exciting time. And for those joining online, I'm glad to tell you that we are live at the Afficent Event Center here in Kano. The weather is bright, it's amazing, and it's so good to see our wonderful and shining faces. So I would like to call the AGM Planning Committee Chairman for his opening remarks. Chairman, sir, a round of applause for him as he comes forward.
Mr. President, special guest, distinguished guest, members of the Council of Association of Consulting Engineers, esteemed members of the ELC Planning Committee, Madam MD of ACEN, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to this 2024 seminar and EGM of Association of Consulting Engineers with the theme Future Trends in Engineering and Infrastructure. Today we gather to discuss various matters that will shape the future of our esteemed association and the profession at large. A special welcome to our special guest when he arrives, our esteemed special guests and partners, our supporters. Your participation underscores the collaborative spirit that drives our profession forward. I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guests. Your presence here today is a testimony to the importance of our association's work and the impact it has on the engineering community and beyond. We are honored to have you with us and look forward to your valuable contributions. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the President and past President of the Association of Consulting Engineers. Our visionary leaders and unwavering dedication continue to inspire all of us. We are grateful for your guidance and commitment to advancing the standard of consulting engineering in Nigeria. To the members of the Council of the Association of Consulting Engineers in Nigeria, I extend my sincere appreciation for your continuous support and strategic insight. Your governance, the backbone of our association's success, and your contributions are deeply valued. I don't know how to thank key speaker and paper presenters for accepting to do justice to the theme and the subject. I pray that Almighty Allah will continue to strengthen you and add more wisdom to you. A special mention goes to the members of the EFC Planning Committee, the EGM Planning Committee. Organizing an event of this magnitude within the short time frame requires dedication, hard work, meticulous planning. Your collective efforts have made this meeting possible, and I want to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of us. Your commitment to excellence is commendable and greatly appreciated.
I cannot finish this remark without acknowledging the engine house of ACEN, Oga Madam MD, and her team. We have agreed and disagreed on so many issues, and finally we have a benefiting seminar and EGM. Thank you very much, Madam, and the team of ACEN. Once more, Oga Madam, we thank you, and please keep up the good work. Today's meeting is a crucial juncture to our association. It presents an opportunity for us to reflect on achievements, address the challenges we face, and chart a course for the future. I encourage everyone to participate actively, share their insights, and engage in meaningful discussions. Together, we can drive positive change and continue to uphold the highest standard of excellence in consulting engineering. Once again, welcome to Kano, where the 2024 EGM and seminar is holding, and I look forward to produce productive and engaging sessions with all of you. Let us make the most of this opportunity to strengthen our association and hence the profession we are also so passionate about. I would like to, before the President talks, recognize and appreciate our partners and sponsors. We appreciate you well. We thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my able chairman. A round of applause for him once again, please. Thank you so much, sir. We believe it's going to be in place for us to recognize people that my chairman, engineer Memaji, has been working with tirelessly day and night. So I will just call their name in no particular order. Of course, we know the chairman, and also part of the committee for the EGM planning committee is engineer MB Shetima. I'm not sure if he's around, but a round of applause for him. We have, as we mentioned earlier, engineer Dr. Lawal Salisu. A round of applause for him. We have engineer Ibrahim Buga, a member of the committee, and also engineer Professor Nuruddeen M. Musa. A round of applause for our prof. We also have engineer Olumo Sharafaddin, a member of the committee, and of course our able MD, engineer Olufumilayo Kadri, FNSE. Also member of the EGM planning committee is engineer Muhammad S. Baguda, MNSE. A round of applause for him. Thank you. We have engineer Dr. Nuruddeen Babagida, a member of the committee as well. A round of applause for him, please. We have engineer Babagana Kurogado, a member of the committee, and also engineer Ibrahim Ekau, a member, and last but not the least, engineer Felix Nwankwo, and also a member of the committee. I just realized that the representative of the current president, that's engineer Professor Abubakar FNSE, in the person of Alhaji Mustafa Amonu, just walked in. So, okay, you're welcome, sir. Round of applause for him, please. You're welcome, sir. Thanks for coming, sir.
Okay, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of our members who have joined via Zoom. Please, can we switch so that they can say a word?
He's the president. That's engineer Kamselam Ebukar, FNSE, FNICE, FNICE, PE, MASCE. That's the managing director, and also CEO Akabot Engineering Limited. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes forward for his welcome address. Let's keep clapping, please. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. You're welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Our special guest of honor, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, other special guests, my distinguished ESCO, particularly my immediate past president of ACEN, Engineer Ajibade Oke, my vice president, Engineer Kunle Adebajo, FNSE, other council members here present, past president, Engineer Nuruddeen Rafindadi, who also incidentally the keynote speaker for today. Our zonal coordinators, our chairman, organizing committee, Engineer Maimaje, FNSE, the managing director of our great association, Engineer Fumilayo Kadri, FNSE, our distinguished ACEN members, invited guests, the president of Koren, heavily represented by Engineer Mustafa, or Alhaji Mustafa, the NSE president, heavily represented by the NSE chairman, Kano branch, our anchors for today, the coordinator, the liaison officer, Abuja, our membership manager, all other guests present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Esteemed members of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, ACEN, I'm delighted to address you today at our Extraordinary General Meeting, AGM 2024 Kano, under the theme, Future Training in Engineering and Infrastructure. This theme underscores the importance of staying at the forefront of advancement in our field to drive innovation and progress in Nigeria's infrastructure landscape. As we gather here in the old city with rich heritage, city of Kano, today we are faced with a unique opportunity to reflect on the evolving trend shaping the engineering industry and the infrastructure sector. Embracing this future trend is essential for us to remain competitive, relevant and resilient in a rapidly changing world. The challenges we face, from climate change to urbanization, require us to adopt sustainable practices, leverage technology, and foster collaboration to deliver solutions that meet the needs of our society while preserving our environment for future generations. I urge each and every one of you to engage actively at the discussions today. Share your insights and contribute your expertise toward shaping the future of engineering and infrastructure in Nigeria. Let us harness the power of collective knowledge and creativity to drive positive change and catalyze progress in our industry. Together, we can pave the way for a future where our infrastructure is not just functional, but smart, sustainable, and resilient. Let us embrace the challenges ahead with optimism and determination as we navigate the path towards a brighter tomorrow for engineering in Nigeria. Thank you for your commitment, your dedication, and your unwavering support for Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. I look forward to the fruitful deliberation ahead and the future that lie on the horizon as we embark on this journey toward future trend in engineering and infrastructure. Thank you. God bless you all, comrades.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can we keep it going? A round of applause for our president. Thank you for that amazing welcome address. Thank you so much, sir. So I think we will just go into it now in a moment. So we'll be recognizing those joining online. The technical team, are you ready to bring them on board? Those joining online, are you ready? Okay, so we'll just check those that we have joining online at this moment. It will be okay if you can have that on the screen, then we can just get their names. Okay, thank you. Yes, so we can see them, and it's so good to have you. I can see Engineer Ogolo joining, and some other members here. I can see KOA Consultants joining.
Engineer James Ogumola from KOA Consultants, Engineer Anjo Lua from KOA Consultants, Engineer James Eze Chief, KOA Consultants, Engineer Ibrahim Ikara, Engineer Francis Oriaki Ake Consult, Engineer Elias Agbabiaka Farmers, Engineer Fainogolo, Engineer Victor, Engineer I think that's all we have for now. So when they keep joining, we would also recognize them.
Thank you. We appreciate your efforts in joining this EGM online. Thank you so much. So I think what about now is to listen to our keynote speaker. That's Engineer Rafindadi. And I understand that engineers like to solve problems. And even if there are no problems at all, or if there are no problems available, engineers like to create problems. So in talking about the future, it doesn't have to be 10 years to come. It doesn't have to be 6 months to come. The future can be now. So in bringing this home and for us to have an amazing perspective on the topic that has been chosen by the amazing committee members for this year's edition of our EGM, which is the future trends in engineering and infrastructure, I have the pleasure of bringing on stage Engineer Engr Rafindadi, the past president ACEN, and also co-founder of Afri Projects Consortium. A round of applause for him, sir, as he comes forward for his presentation. Thank you so much, sir. Let's keep that going. Let's keep it going till he gets to the stage. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, MCs, for the introduction. And I welcome everyone here, and I will first gladly adopt the protocol set by Mr. President and the MCs, and to say that I'm delighted to be here again to present the keynote address for an EGM of ACEN. And I'm also I would like to congratulate the EGM Planning Committee and the ESCO of ACEN for visiting and revisiting issues having to do with future of professional consultancy development. That is as it should be, because ACEN in Nigeria is a representation of international best practice in consulting engineering. Being a member of FIDIC, International Federation of Consulting Engineers, and FIDIC is the go-to place for international institutions, United Nations, World Bank, the international governments, regional governments, on the issue of delivering projects management, consulting for delivering projects in infrastructure in general, not just engineering, but we in consulting engineering have the belief always that consulting engineering or engineers should lead the delivery of projects. And today, delivery of projects is much, much more than just engineering. It is engineering. Of course, it is architecture, building, quantity surveys. All these professions, we regard them as like branches or clients of engineering. But it also nowadays involves law, legal services, finance, economics, social engineering, if you like, social studies, environment, of course, history, archaeology. All these things are now have now become part of infrastructure, because infrastructure essentially is building facilities that will enhance life for human beings, and it ranges everything from not just building highways, bridges, agriculture, irrigation, and drainage, and all aspects of human life. And you will understand that when you are building something that touches on human lives, you have to study human character. And that means you have to find the way humans think, economics, social services. You have to deal with beneficiaries of your projects. You have to get buy-in from the beneficiaries and stakeholders of the project, and so on. I'll just go quickly. In the outline, I'm going to talk about the Nigerian infrastructure. No, just follow me as I speak. You will understand the slides and how they should go. We will talk about context. We will talk about global trends, and I will dwell today on 3 global trends on engineering and infrastructure projects. Emerging technologies, the fact that you have to have a multidisciplinary approach, a multidimensional approach, the concept of life cycle planning, design, operational maintenance of projects, and briefly on how we prepare the next generation of consultants to take leadership in delivery of infrastructure, which is what we think engineering should do. Introduction. Engineering infrastructure always has been a dynamic field. It has always been a fast-moving field, and we have always had to catch up with it. And more we find ourselves trying to find common grounds, not only in engineering, but in other areas of technology and science and related professions. Current transformations today are driven by rapid technological advancements, evolving societal needs arising from population growth and environmental sustainability. To stay competitive, practitioners in the engineering consulting industry must continuously adapt to the demands of this transforming environment if we indeed want to remain in the cutting edge. The President talked about that we should always be in the forefront. Engineering consulting needs to always be in the cutting edge, not only in engineering, but on how engineering impacts on people's life when we are building infrastructure. On the context, the demand for smart, robust, efficient infrastructure is in turn driven by rapid population growth, rapid urbanization, and socio-economic development. It is not always apparent, but when you reflect on the fact that in 2008, we had a population of less than 180 million, and today we are estimated to have a population of 220 plus. All the infrastructure you were building in 2008, the benchmark has shifted. And so more and more, and yet in Nigeria we have projects that are conceived, planned, and awarded, and they take 20 years to complete. In that period, the user base of that infrastructure has perhaps doubled. So it's more and more important now that we should design projects and deliver them, not only on technical specifications and on budget, but also on time. Time is now very important. You build a road which was designed in 2008, and today the traffic population has doubled, and we are still on it. So you find that we have projects in roads that were already, say, a 100-kilometer road, that before you reach the 100th kilometer, the first 10 kilometers are already due for major rehabilitation. And so that is why today this concept of life cycle development, life cycle planning and implementation of projects has taken hold, and it is something that is necessary if you indeed want to deliver projects that are functioning. Climate change, environmental issues, and the need for sustainable, resilient infrastructure. Apart from, to complicate matters, it's not only population that is doubling in the case of Nigeria every 40 years or so, but environment is feeling the pressure of increasing population. And therefore, you need to have infrastructure that is able to be resilient, to respond to changes, not only on pressure of population, but on climate change and other environmental issues arising from that. More and more, you see that most of this is not only on engineering matters. I was watching a program recently where there are landslides covering thousands of communities, and somebody commented to me that these things are happening today, is coming to the end of the world. We never had this before. And I told him that we've always had it, but these things happened before and not a single person died. The population today is 9 billion. The world population is 9 billion. So people are living in all kinds of places you can't imagine when we had a population of 1 billion. So it's not surprising, therefore, that in design and planning teams nowadays, you have archaeologists, you have places, even in Nigeria, where development has reached places that used to be cemeteries, and therefore you need to have historians that will identify who and who was buried here. There may be need for relocations of so many other services and so on. So most of these are not just engineering, but what we maintain is that engineering still needs to take a lead in delivering the projects. And that means we might like to call ourselves engineers, but we need to start thinking of how the historians, how the archaeologists, not even about economists, finance, banking, and so on. So we must remain in lead to face these huge challenges. So we will take these global trends, as I said, emerging technologies, the multidisciplinary and multidimensional nature of delivering projects, and say briefly about life cycle planning and design. Emerging technologies are many, as we have mentioned. Emerging technologies and digital advancements. First of all, to deliver sustainable and resilient infrastructure, green building technologies, renewable energy integration, environmental sustainability, climate resilient infrastructure, and carbon credit marketplace. All these are developments that have arisen today that we didn't have to face 20 years ago, but we need to really face today, because nowadays there are places in the world where to get your projects admitted for implementation, you have to be certified by the carbon credit certifiers to ensure that you are not carbon emission is not escalating beyond carbon, because what they call carbon credit. And nowadays, if you have, for instance, if you have an export, if you are exporting cement or steel to Europe, you have to give a certificate of how much carbon footprint you have created in delivering that export. Otherwise, no market for you. If you exceed the carbon emission limit awarded to you, you now need to buy carbon credit in real hard money, so that you can balance. And the idea is to have net zero emission. That's what they call it. Carbon credit and carbon emission should balance. And by a certain time down the line, maybe 2030, we should reach net zero. 2030, and actually 10 or 20 years more. And countries that are into that are seeing a lot of credit in terms of finance available for their project and in terms of acceptability. To achieve that, digital advancements have crept up. We now find that we don't have just design software. We actually have design platforms where all professionals related to design are there participating. The building information modeling technology is basically a platform which includes all the physical and functional information on a project. And all the engineers, all the architects, all the, even nowadays, all the finance people are working on that platform. And that platform becomes a repository of information on the project, based from design, concept to design, to the entire life cycle of the projects. Because you want to look at your project not just as a 2-3 year project of building a road, but a 20-year life cycle of that road. So in that way, you are able to holistically look at what happens to the environment on this project, how much is incoming and ongoing, what are the economic benefits, what are the social impacts and social benefits, and you keep your eyes on this for the entire life cycle of the project. So one immediate consequence of that is you don't have the whole time to build a road that is supposed to be done in 2-3 years. And you want to take the entire life cycle. By the time you finish it in 10-20 years, it's actually supposed to have been the life cycle of the project. And life cycle planning then enables you to address all these issues, not only during planning and design, but during operation and maintenance. In the same vein, we have green building technologies. Green building technologies are all different kinds of technologies that enable you to make your building to be more environmentally sustainable. I have friends and seniors in the profession that have said about making their houses or their residences to be completely off-grid nowadays. We have solar technologies, we have battery technologies, and you can actually, it's not only an economic matter of saving yourself the bills, which is now starkly looking us in the face, but making your house sustainable. In that way, you are actually helping the environment. And one day, you might be able to earn carbon credit for that. And these are times that are conceptual, but it is coming. We are coming to that place. We have places where you are able to produce enough energy to supply your house and even produce excess. And there are facilities for upgrading that to the grid and for you to get a credit on that. So renewable energy integration is a very important aspect of design of infrastructure. And I'm not talking only about buildings, like I said, but all kinds of infrastructure. So the sustainable, I'll go through this rapidly because I don't have all the time. Environmental sustainability involves reducing ecological footprint of construction, reducing emissions, attention to community affairs, safety, health, environment, and security. And in the oil and gas sector, they call these CASHES: community affairs, safety, health, environment, and security. This used to be a major consideration in design and planning. But today, this must be constantly looked at day in, day out for the entire life period of the project. That's the only way you can really ultimately achieve environmental sustainability. The issue of climate resilient infrastructure, and I'll also give a favored example I have here. People are building houses where they can actually harvest rainwater systems and store their water supply you are putting less pressure on public water supply, giving more convenience to yourself and saving the environment. And climate resilient infrastructure includes, nowadays you have to do flood resistant designs and construction. Climate change, freak floods nowadays are one of the results of the climate change. We have floods that we never had in history, or only the kind of floods we had in biblical times. And people begin to say, what is happening? What's the explanation? And this is actually one of the effects of climate change. And more you need to pay attention when you design roads and drainages to do a flood-resistant design and construction. For example, elevated roads, permeable pavement, and green infrastructure. And then nowadays also from the design, planning to construction to the life period, pay attention to carbon credit. Carbon credit marketplace represents financial incentives for emission reduction. It provides opportunity for huge earnings into the economy, and funds obtained through carbon credits can be reinvested into other sustainable projects. And what they do now is to give you a certificate for carbon credit emission, whether it is positive or negative, and you keep that on your account. And one day, if you are getting too much on the emission side, you need to pay for that. And digital advancements, I talked about digital advancements in infrastructure development. BIM is one of them. It's a digital representation for building design and management. Internet of Things. Nowadays, you use devices for real-time monitoring and management of infrastructure. You have buildings or bridges that have embedded in them devices that monitor the performance of the infrastructure during its lifetime. If, for instance, I think that there are such devices being installed on the Third Mainland Bridge, and that gives you a guidance on how the performance of the bridge is going, from the foundation to the piers, to the pavement, the support structure, and you are able to take decisions during the lifetime of the period of the project, and that enable you to save costs and save health and security of the bridge itself and the users. AI, artificial intelligence, in this context is also creeping in. It gives avenues for predictive analytics, automation, intelligent decision-making, and data-driven management of infrastructure. The concept of smart cities actually integrates all of this, and we have smart cities now being conceived that take into account all of this, not only in the design, but in actually running this infrastructure and the estates. And all these things we are mentioning, you see, these are not only engineering. We have ICT in it. We have all sciences in it. Our point here is that the engineer who is the deliverer of the project should take the lead. We need to keep emphasizing this because we've seen instances where a huge engineering project is conceived and planned with the participation of financial experts who then secure the project. They get on the project, they get the finance, and they employ engineers to come and do their work for a fee. And we think that is not the place of an engineer. It's not because we think we should have all the money, but the project and the life cycle of the project is better planned, better conceived, better operated, and better cared for under the lead of an engineer. Engineers' input will still be there, but we should be doing it as taking the lead, not under the employment of finance and legal experts, which is happening a lot nowadays. But in order to do that, we have to broaden our practice. We have to give room and broaden our practice. Practices in engineering. Consulting engineering is not strictly just engineering. Our conception of what consulting engineering is you are a deliverer of the project, and that contains many, many professions. So you need to have this under your office. You need to tap into this. You need to also learn a little bit about all of these things. Because we have to take multi-dimensional approaches. technical, economic, environment, social, even political, because you need to do the starting. I've always believed that at the time you are doing the engineering of your project, at the time that you are designing the engineering of the project, by the time you finish the design of your engineering of your project, you should have also finished the design of the financing of the project. Because if you don't, you will have derailments down the way. It's good to have a perfect design and you start the project only to find you are not sure about the sources of the finance. But at the time you are designing the project, you should know how much is the cost and what are the dynamics of the cost, what are the economic assumptions of the cost, and project into the future on inflation figures and so on. Are you going to start with ₦1 billion project, ending up with 10 billion project? And where is the cash flow? Where is it coming from? You don't assume a dedicated inflow to the project from state government budget, for instance, or federal government budget. If it is a huge infrastructure project that affects so many sectors, you need to have an idea of how much is coming from the budget, how much is coming from lending, how much is coming from investors, and how much, and at what time do you need what? So you don't keep funds idle and then involve interest, and yet you don't get short of funds because delays can be costly. The most costly incident on a project is delay, because that is what makes a project to multiply 10 times over a period. If you don't recognize that you have 18 months to do a project and you sit down and do it for 10 years, you end up costing 10 times. It is far more expensive than borrowing to do the project in terms of the interest we incur. So financial engineering, sometimes we call it that. Financial engineering is also important.